To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and Panel.
It's Coffee and here on ONAM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. That guy is Dave Richards. Hi, Dave.
I am. Oh,
Yes.
Hi there, Frank. Good morning, Joe. Thank you for the recognition.
And we're expecting to be joined by Melissa Murray. She might be stuck behind a school bus or something like that.
Oh,
Mike
dear.
Hero from the
That's
Boy
nice.
Scouts will be joining us. And then Rich
It's
Lane.
Hero.
Hero. What did
Yes.
I say?
Well, you said hero.
Hero.
Well,
Well, he could be a
which
hero.
isn't entirely wrong.
And he could be. That's right. Anyway, Mike Hero from the Boy Scouts. And Rich Lane will be joining us around 8:30 this morning here on the Coffee and program. So it's funny. I was talking to Dave about this little
Yes, you
story.
were.
And Dave said, well, Joe, you didn't grow up in the 60s. Although I was born in the 60s, but I don't remember too much of it. And, it's everything's all cyclical because I've seen this play before, and I know how it turns out.
That's right. That's right.
But we've got controversy, Dave. I wish
Controversy.
I wish Melissa was here. Controversy
she'll
here
be
in,
here
in the
shortly.
city of
Get it?
Woonsocket.
She'll be-
Oh, here she comes. Okay, we're gonna wait for her to get in here.
Get it? She'll be here shortly. Did you get what did you get what I did there? You
Yes.
see what I did?
See,
She'll
this
be
is-
here shortly.
This is all new to her and I, so
I just got a look when she walked in the room.
I hear enough short
Jeez,
jokes in
Dave.
my life.
For the money you make, you could come up with better, right?
Jokes, yeah.
Melissa,
As
can
you
get,
know.
we're having a picture taken. Please get in the front.
Always.
Oh,
Every time.
all right, we got
Every
controversy in the city of Woonsocket
Yes.
over at the Beacon Charter School. Do you know what's going on?
That's the Beacon Charter High School for the Arts.
Yes. Do you know what's going on over there?
I don't.
Okay. The school rents out its auditorium, I guess, to people that want to rent it out.
Right.
Yeah.
When
Okay.
they're not
Because they
using
can't use it all the time.
They're not using it, so we rent it
Yes,
out to
sure.
whoever we need to.
Same
rent
thing
it
at the
out
high school. They rent out the high school
Okay.
Yeah,
auditorium.
right.
to. Well, the Beacon Charter High School has rented out their auditorium to an independent playwright and his troupe of players to put on a play,
Okay.
which started Thursday night.
Yep.
And I guess it's going to run through the weekend.
Thursday
Well,
night would be like last night, as
yes,
we're talking Friday
yes,
morning?
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
talking- so last night it opened, and the controversy is in the
Content of the play?
content in the title.
Okay.
We're going to start with the title.
All right.
And I'm
We can only
I'm not-
imagine what the content in the play is because we
Yes.
haven't seen it.
That's right.
But the title has
the
been
title is, well, think of the word cat and use another word.
Okay.
And so it's cat. You want me to use the real word, Dave? You're looking at me.
What's that?
The other word for cat.
You don't.
Oh, yes. Okay. I
Okay.
get it.
So
Yeah.
think of that. Cat Hanukkah comes to Harlem. That's the name of the play. Of course, it's not really cat. It's the other word. So that's the name of the play. Okay.
Okay.
Now, no kids are going to be allowed into the play. So there's no one. There's no
And
student.
they don't rehearse when there's any kids around.
There's no student in the play from the
Okay.
Beacon Charter.
Right.
They don't rehearse during school time.
Okay.
Only at night and on the weekends. All right. The play tells the story of two canceled comedians meant to save the world from political correctness.
Okay.
Doesn't give you a great overview of what the play is about.
Mm-hmm.
It does say it's about acceptance, and to me, it's a very, very beautiful play. That's the writer saying it, of course. So
Right,
he
right.
thinks it's great.
Okay. Okay.
If he didn't, that would brown up a flag, wouldn't it?
But he does go on to say his name is Lenny Schwartz. It's absolutely not meant for kids. No kids under 18 will be let in to see the play.
Okay.
So some
Okay.
people have had the opinion that since this is a school auditorium,
Yes.
for a school which teaches not college people but high school kids, so they're all minors, that perhaps they shouldn't have even rented this out to someone who's going to use it.
There's a quote on
Like
Channel
that.
10's website who did a story on it. You should not be renting a space in a high school for something like that. That's inappropriate, said one parent. No name on the parent, by the way.
Only one parent.
And only one.
Okay.
This isn't controversy then if there's only one parent.
Well, maybe. Okay.
Okay.
So the Beacon Charter School Superintendent,
That's normal if it's only one parent.
Michael Skelton, sent a statement that said the production is put on by an independent theater company who rents the show's Black Box Theater.
Right.
Okay.
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 So I don't know if there's much of controversy here, though. They're trying to create some, I guess. And Melissa, in your opinion, okay for these people to rent the Charter High School and put on what's basically an adult-oriented play?
That really is the call of the school. But as I'm thinking about this, I'm also thinking about the message that it's sending to students of an art school that certain art should be censored, and that's not the case.
All right. The play does go on. It does.
You
go
know,
on to say,
whether or not it's appropriate. I'm a big First Amendment,
Yeah.
freedom of speech. If we say, well, we'll accept some art, but not art
other
that
art.
has bad words, what message does that send to art students? I don't know. I mean,
They do go on to say about the play, it's raw, funny, and meant to get people talking. Although I don't know what
yeah.
they're trying
Well,
to get
art
people
is
to talk
art.
about.
Art is
so.
art is meant to do that. Is meant to evoke
Okay.
strong emotions. So I think, in
All
the
right.
last 30 seconds, I've kind of changed my stance on this in my own head. So
They
there
go
we
on
go.
to say, if you're curious, come buy a ticket, come to the show, and let's have a discussion about it afterwards.
Okay.
So there you go.
All right,
It's going
all
on at
right.
the Beacon Charter School.
I'm sure that there'll be more upset parents, but
The title is bizarre.
the title is really bizarre.
Cat Hanukkah comes to Harlem.
Except not cat, the other
Except
word.
not cat?
Not cat. It's the P word that
It is
Joe's
a P.
uncomfortable saying
Well,
Yeah,
in
in
this
front of
con-
his grandparents.
In this context, I
Right,
am.
right. No,
So
that's
there-
probably
All right.
wise.
This segment of the Coffee and Program, by the way, is sponsored by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Dave, what's going on over at the Chamber, please?
And as I was explaining to Joe, I saw all this stuff happen in the '60s.
We missed it,
Artistic people, artistic people simply found it exciting to shock people and
Be
to
provocative.
to do things that were going to get them attention. And of course, most of us realize that's kind of like what a 2-year-old's mentality is. Okay, let's see what we can do to get some attention today.
And it worked.
And right. So they're doing it again. And we look at it and say, okay, there's the 2-year-old acting out again. Okay, so it's art. Go nuts. Have some fun. But you're not going to get a rise out of me.
But how dare you put it on in a high school? What will the kids
No. Come on. You kidding me? The kids know all the words.
think?
Oh, that's true.
That's so true.
And yeah, seriously.
Good point.
It's when Nicole was growing up, I was telling Joe this, Melissa. When Nicole was growing up, she would see stuff and she would just be shocked because we didn't run our household that way, And I said, well, Nicole, I can't protect you from everything forever.
Right.
So it's like this. While I would not have chosen to expose you to that, you got exposed. Sorry about that. Guess what? Got to grow up sometime. The world ain't Sesame Street. and the best I can tell you is that we would prefer you not to engage in that in your life because we're trying to teach you a good, wholesome way to grow up. But other people don't give a darn, and you're going to have to share the same planet with them.
Right.
So far as I can tell, there's no scars.
All right.
So there you go. September 28th is next week, next Thursday, Joe.
Yes, it is.
At the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, they have the Emerging Leaders Leadership Lessons Breakfast. It's going to be at Bryant University in Smithfield from 8:45 in the morning till 10 o'clock. A nice big thing. Hear the story of a young man who grew up in India, moved to the United States without any money, connections, or friends, and later worked his way up to become CEO of a company worth more than $20 billion with a B dollars in assets and over 600 employees. Sounds pretty good to me. On October 4th, which is, I think, also is a Wednesday.
Yes.
October 4th is a Wednesday, right? Because October 4th is the last nominating day for Best of the Blackstone Valley. At 5 o'clock, it's over. But at 5 o'clock, it begins down at the new Lincoln branch of Bank Newport, the networking pop-up with beer, wine, and refreshments. Oh, boy. We could probably use that after the nominating process, huh? There you go. And then, of course, on October 19th, Bold and Business Breakfast with the Women's Business Council at Bryant University. Bourbon Bites and Cigars is that October 25th event from 5 to 7 p.m. at Kirkbrae Country Club with a spirited evening of tastings, curated craft spirits, and cigars. Now, cigars aren't for me, but I understand some people like that stuff. That's pretty good. I'll visit you in the cancer ward later. The Welcome Wednesday on November the 1st is also there, so pencil that puppy in from 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning. And remember that all chamber functions that start in the morning, our Coffee and listeners have dispensation to join the chamber for any morning meeting. You can always make it up on the replay, just like Rotary. And that's it. Remember, it's 334-1000 is the telephone number to call after the show, because they open at 9 to discuss how the chamber can make your life better.
All right, a little bit more just on the quote-unquote controversy with the play The Beacon Charter. I just wonder, do the parents think after the rehearsal is done that the words just hang in the air and wait for the kids to come in and then filter down?
Oh, that's silly, Joe. Now you're being just as silly as the rest of us.
Well, I don't know why they're so concerned.
Well, like Dave said, it's nothing they haven't heard before, probably many years before they even got into high school.
But I
right?
would agree that as conscientious adults with the responsibility of rearing the young, that we wouldn't purposefully put them in that way, in that situation. But
And they're
when they are exposed to it accidentally or in the course of life, best you can do is teach them how to handle it.
All right, other things going on, like the Providence City Council's got nothing better to do. They unanimously adopted a resolution on Thursday to become the first, quote, climate jobs city in the United States.
Oh, sure.
Now, what does this mean?
I was about to ask.
The City Council says it is committed to enacting bold climate policy goals which promote workforce development, including making investments in carbon neutral infrastructure.
Okay.
The council
Things that it
also
couldn't
wants
possibly, couldn't possibly, goals that it couldn't possibly attain.
the council also wants to incorporate environmental education into the Providence School District.
Yeah.
They should be more concerned about what is going on at Kennedy Plaza than this right now.
Well, Kennedy Plaza is being handled by people who are delegated to do that. I disagree with you there.
No, I think they should be part of that.
But I don't disagree, Joe, with the fact that there are perhaps weightier things for a city council to be concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
But the one you mentioned, I don't agree with. This is very much like Congress coming up and saying, okay, doesn't rain on Saturdays anymore. And we said so it's the law. It's something that it's what do they call it? It's not like a moral precept or something. It's a lofty goal. You're to be congratulated for having lofty goals, even though they are unrealistic and not within your control to achieve. So go nuts, have some fun, but it's Sesame Street again, folks.
All right.
You know, it's not the way the world spins.
Melissa, you were on the Woonsocket City Council for a
Yes.
little while.
And we made
do you think about
we
this?
made some infrastructure upgrades to the library and to City Hall that made them more eco-friendly.
Right.
When we did those upgrades, we just did them very mindfully, but we never do resolution.
Sure.
It's just a signaling thing.
All right.
It's the right thing to do.
First climate job city. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Okay.
But that's also.
I mean, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you also need to do. If you're going to put it out there and put the words out there, then you're beholden to do the work.
All right.
Except that the people who are there putting the words out are temps, and they won't be responsible for the longevity of the effort. And
All
that's and that's the way it is. Now I can turn around and say, Joe, I'm going to get into that tuxedo I wore 50 years ago today at my wedding, and yes, and by golly, that's my goal, and everyone will applaud me, and that's a wonderful thing. But you know something, it's not realistic, and yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program, but Dave, is there anything else you'd like to say about the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of
There was
Commerce?
one more
before we
thing,
take a
Joe,
break?
and I'm
Okay.
glad you asked. 334-1000 is the telephone number for the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Call them up and tell them Dave said I should ask you how you can help me.
All right. Very good. More coming away. We will be joined by Mike Hero coming up right after this.
Cool.
Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. If you're looking for an investment firm that puts you first and works hard on your behalf, I'd like you to consider us. We're right here in Woonsocket, and we've been in business since 1987. so you don't have to go out of town for an experienced advisor or work with an advisor based in Boston, New York, or who knows where, someone you'll probably never meet. We encourage our clients to come to our office and sit down with us as often as they like. Why? Because we like to do business the old-fashioned way. We want to get to know you on a more personal basis so that we're more attuned to your financial needs. So if you're interested in speaking with us for a free, no-obligation consultation to find out how we invest your money, call us, Paul or myself, at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Nominations are pouring in for the Best of the Blackstone Valley. It's here and time for you to let your voice be heard. Nominate and support your favorite businesses at bestoftheblackstonevalley.com. Got a favorite restaurant? Nominate them. Love where you bought your car or those new shoes? Nominate them for the Best of the Blackstone Valley. Couldn't live without your gym or a favorite plumber? Nominate them too. Nominate today and until October 4th at 5 p.m. for the bestoftheblackstonevalley.com.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
On Owen Radio.
Here we are on Coffee and. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Melissa Murray, and we're being joined on the phone by Mike Hiru. And good morning to you there, Mike.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mike.
And Mike is joining us because we're going to talk. Mike's involved with the Boy Scouts of America, and Scouting Day is this Saturday, correct?
Correct. We are having a recruitment drive Saturday morning at Holy Trinity Parish from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Rain or shine, I must add.
Well, it's going to rain.
We'll most likely be indoors.
All right, very good. And if people haven't heard, I know Boy Scouting is open to both boys and girls.
That's
Correct.
something new.
It's actually been a few years now.
It's been maybe 5 or 6 years, but I mean, for a lot of the people we're talking to, that's fairly new.
Yes. It's great because Scouting has expanded their program to incorporate the whole family.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, a little technical backstage thing. Can you back off on the phone just about 2 inches there because we're getting a little too much of you.
I can do that.
There you
All
go.
right. So Boy Scouts, very good.
That's
Boy
great.
Scouts,
Perfect.
traditional scouting program for boys and girls girls ages 11 to 17.
He went to broadcasting school.
It's one of the oldest youth organizations in the United States. It started in England, right? If I
Yes.
remember that
It
correctly?
did.
Okay.
By Lord Baden-Powell.
Okay. And the young people can participate in various outdoor activities, camping, hiking, kayaking, mountain biking, and much more. But you're there to build character with the young people, correct?
Yeah, we teach them some self-reliance. We teach them to be independent. We teach them to be good citizens in our community. We teach them confidence, a lot of physical fitness, all good things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but more than that, Mike, if I could interject from my experience, yes, number one is self-reliance. But number two is teamwork and good citizenship. Getting along with others and working together as a team is what you learn next after you can rely on yourself.
I would agree with you. We call them peer leaders,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're a 14 or 15-year-old teenager and you can lead a group of your peers, when you get older, leading a group of adults becomes even easier because you've got the experience.
And you learn how to listen. When you're a youngster, you don't know how to listen quite as easily. But just something that
Definitely
you
not.
something that you learn over time is how to listen to other people, not just hear them, but listen to them and try to figure out how as many people as possible can win at least a little.
Definitely. I would agree with you.
So there's going to be a bunch of different demonstrations going on this Saturday that you can watch and see how things are done. And as I'm looking them over, it's funny. I worked with a guy that I believe he did become an Eagle Scout, and he told me one time how he was capable of taking. It's a bit of an exaggeration. He could take a baked potato and a stick and go into the woods and come back with a 7-course meal. It's pretty amazing that he could do this.
No,
He was
I could-
probably in our troop.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
he was.
Probably in our troop.
I can figure out how to do that.
Well, there you
That's
go.
great.
Yeah, right.
How to? But no, what he really could do is he could make mashed potatoes with a stick and a baked potato. And
Well,
how
that's
to do
right,
it.
and
I'm like,
sustain
wow.
himself so
Where's
he
he getting
can
the
hunt
butter,
and bring
Joe?
back
Where's
the
he getting the
rest.
butter?
That's right. That's right.
We hold a Iron Chef competition annually with different scout troops in the Northeast, and they come up with some crazy stuff.
All right. Part of the demonstrations is making ice cream in a bag.
Yep.
Wow. How's that?
Never heard
done?
about that?
Not in a bag, no.
Okay.
I want to know how to do that.
It's science. Stop by, Melissa. We'll show you how.
I will.
So there's that.
It's use ice and rock salt and some cream and sugar. And,
That's
and
right.
you
Shake it up. All right.
That's how they did it back in the 1800s, boys and girls.
What is a rain gutter regatta?
So we make boats. The Cub Scouts will make boats out of milk cartons
Uh-huh.
and a straw and a piece of paper, and we put it in a gutter with water, and they have to blow it with a straw, and whoever determine who the winner is.
To get from one end to the other.
Yes.
All right. Of course, there'll be camping demonstrations. How to set up a tent.
Yes.
That's
We're gonna
always
have
that's always the jokes on TV of people that don't know how to set up a tent.
The
The whole
we're
thing,
gonna-
it's always
We're gonna have a
collapsing.
contest. We're gonna see. Who
Oh, you
can
know,
set up
there's a
the tent.
contest. All right.
not only that, but the first thing they teach them is where to set up a tent, or
Not on a slope.
where
right?
not to set up a
Yes.
tent.
Yeah.
You,
yeah.
you don't
You
want
take a look at
slope,
the
You don't want
ground.
rock.
Yeah.
You could take a look at the ground. You see if that ground's retaining water or is it draining well. Always put your tent up on a draining well thing and not at the bottom of a hill where it's going to get filled up if it rains. And then here's how you put up a tent. But first things first, where do you want to put up the tent?
You must also when you do the camping, bringing the kids out into the mountains or the woods or whatever. You must also teach them how to put your food up in the tree so the bears don't get it, right?
It's not so much here in Rhode Island,
Yeah.
but when we travel out to New Mexico,
Yeah.
we teach them how to do a bear rope, and we hang them between the trees, and you got to put all the smellables in there, and it's in that the bear would perceive as food goes up in that.
But can't the bear
in the
just
bag.
climb the tree and go after it?
Well, you put it. You have two trees that are far enough apart that if the bear tried to jump, they wouldn't reach it.
Ah, okay.
Exactly.
See, all the stuff I'm learning.
Exactly.
I was not a scout.
And I learned.
Every day's a school day, Joe.
That's right.
And I learned up in the hill country up in New Hampshire that it is permissible under certain circumstances to also bury the food if you have a proper container.
Not aware of that. A lot of state parks like New Hampshire and Maine, they have those storage lockers, and
That's
they have
good.
handles that the bears just have a hard time figuring out.
No opposable thumbs.
That,
I can't
that
figure
usually
it.
works well too.
All right. So there'll be other Boy Scouts that'll be there during this event.
We'll have members of Troop 2, which is the boy troop, the Cub Scout Pack, which is the younger kids, boys and girls, and then we'll have the newest addition to scouting in the city is Troop 222. 222, yes, 3 twos. They're an all-girl troop, and they'll be there demonstrating, participating, and hopefully having a good time.
So how old do you have to be when you're a Cub Scout?
Cub Scout, they start with the Tiger program, is kindergarten, and it goes all the way up to 5th grade.
Okay, and then you graduate to the Boy Scouts after that?
Yeah, somewhere around the middle of 5th grade, you transition over and you become a Boy Scout. Boy Scouts are 11 to 17.
Are there so many badges or activities you have to accomplish as a Cub Scout before you can move on?
Yes. There's usually 5 to 7 badges with each group. Each program, each group is about a year. So they start out as a tiger, they move up. They start out as a lion, they move up to a tiger and so forth, and then eventually they become a Weeblo Scout, which is basically a junior Boy Scout. We teach them what it means to be a Scout. So when they become Scouts, it's not foreign, and they're very familiar with the whole program.
All right.
And one of the most wonderful things that I've noticed with scouting these days is that I heard an awful lot when I was growing up about stereotypes based on gender or apparent gender, and how this isn't for girls and that isn't for girls and stuff like that. Well, the fact is that if you want to eliminate these kinds of gender-specific stereotypes, then simply train the girls to do the stuff they need to do anyway and forget about it. And the Boy Scouts of America organization, more known as Scouting now, has done that. And they just said, okay, listen, forget about the stereotypes. We're teaching the guys to cook anyway because how are you going to live if you can't cook? Right? And so why can't we bring the young girls in and teach them how to pitch a tent, and get food, and use the aspects of geometry to build things and to reason out problems and to lead people? Why can't you do that? And Boy Scouts of America did do that several years ago, and now you're working every single year to eliminate those gender stereotypes that people have found so repugnant.
You know, it was a good idea because for many years, families would be involved in Scouts, and the sisters would go to events. And a lot of times the girls would participate. They weren't officially Scouts, but they were there anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So why not open up to the whole family and let them experience the same adventures as the boys?
Okay.
And I must add that some of them do a better job than some of the boys.
Well, it depends. Yeah, it depends. Guys can be a little more distracted than girls. We learned when we were in school. Sometimes girls are a bit more of single purpose in their minds.
Yes, very focused. Very focused.
Especially when it comes down to knot tying. You have to do it in a specific order every single time.
What I like though is that at the teenage years the program is not co-ed though. We keep the boys in one group and the girls in another group.
Well, the interests
and it
are
allows
different.
them to grow with their peers.
Right.
And say silly, stupid things that boys might do or girls might do, and not have that interference of the opposite sex. So it worked out really well.
So this Scouting Day, Mike, is this a nationwide thing that the Scouts do every year?
The Narragansett Council, which we're a member of, has 52 communities throughout the Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and part of Connecticut that are hosting this weekend.
Okay.
So this is our big fall recruitment drive.
Okay, so Scouting Day is tomorrow, Saturday, September 23rd, from 10 to 2 at the Holy Trinity Parish, 1409 Park Avenue, right here in Woonsocket. Mike, if any parents or I guess any Scouts have any questions, is there a way to get a hold of you before this?
Absolutely. I can be reached via my phone at 442-4744, or I can be emailed at mherous, Herous, 2001 at yahoo.com.
All right.
And of course, I'm sorry, one last place.
Yep.
Is beascout.org. Put in your community, and it'll bring you right to one of our units.
All right. Another question for you, Mike. In terms of volunteer parents,
how are we doing on volunteers?
Are less parents volunteering that you've seen over the years, or where do things stand there?
The Cub Scout program requires parents to participate.
Mm-hmm.
When we get to the teenage years, it requires less parent involvement. But we never turn down a volunteer because whatever skill that you bring to the troop, we'll definitely put you to work. I always tell the parents that you really want to participate because your kids are not going to be kids anymore. They're going to grow up faster than you know it. You're going to miss that opportunity to share in some great adventures.
All right. Scouting Day, Saturday, September 23rd at 10 to 2, Holy
That's
Trinity
tomorrow,
Parish.
Joe.
That will be tomorrow. And like
It
Mike
is
said,
tomorrow.
rain or shine.
Don't forget, we're making grilled pizzas too for lunch. So
Oh, hey.
Grilled pizzas.
Should be good.
Sounds yummy. Mike, thanks for joining us here on the Coffee and Program.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
All
Thanks,
right.
Mike.
Have a great
Thank you.
day.
Take care.
Bye.
Mike Hero, Scoutmaster, right here in Woonsocket, talking about Scouting Day, which takes place tomorrow, September 23rd, 10 to 2 at Holy Trinity Parish. More Coffee Ants coming your way. It's time for a look at the forecast, which is being sponsored by Unbound.org.
Mostly sunny skies today with a high near 70 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 51. Saturday's weather, there's an 80% chance of rain, mainly afternoon, high of 60 degrees, winds from the northeast, and a half to 3/4 of an inch of rain is possible Saturday. Saturday night, an 80% chance of more rain, another 1/4 to a half an inch of rain is possible, overnight low of 54. Sunday, a 50-50 chance of showers, cloudy and 63. Monday, a 50% chance of some showers, mostly cloudy and a high of 64. Tuesday, the sun returns with a high of 62. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 66. And on Thursday, mostly sunny and 68 degrees.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio in the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, sunny skies with 57 degrees. A girl in Kenya dreams of becoming a doctor. An elder in Guatemala dreams of being part of a community. Reach out and change their world, and it will change your own at unbound.org.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
Let me say a word about Chan's Fine Oriental Dining at 267 Main Street in Woonsocket. Yes, this is where you get to enjoy the best. Book your next party with Chan's. They have a lovely room, as you know. And great food like the wonton soup, the crab rangoon, boneless ribs, teriyaki sesame chicken, and general chicken, and 5-spice shrimp, lo mein, fried rice. Gosh, I don't have to go through all of it, do I? 32 special combo dinners at Chan's, delicious and reasonably priced. Friday and Saturday, you have WRIK karaoke in the lounge from 8 to 11. And of course, Mai Tais and Scorpion Bowls to go at Chan's. 765-1900, delivery at 762-1364, Chan's.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
It is Coffee Inn on ON, and this segment of the Coffee Inn program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Okay.
The Valley Breeze has been a local news leader since its founding in 1996, and more people are reading our stories today than ever before. We believe our mission of making our community stronger by telling their stories is not just a tagline, but a way of life for our staff as they connect with you, our loyal readers and advertisers. Our team thanks you for always reading, always reaching out, and always helping toward our shared vision. Check out any of our 5 editions or visit valleybreeze.com for more.
It is Coffee Inn on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards and Melissa Murray, and we're being joined by Rich Elaine from Post 85. Good morning, Rich.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you today?
I am well, thank you.
Excellent. Before we get to Rich, Melissa, Arts in the Alley is this weekend, right?
Arts in the Alley is tomorrow at Lops Brewing, and that is from 1 to 5. So we're going to have artisans. W's Wood-Fired Pizza will be there. And in the case of rain, we are still going on, rain or shine. Recently, Lops has expanded their indoor space a little bit, which allows the artisans to come inside. So we're going to have we'll have like handmade jewelry. We'll have this woman who does like these really awesome beaded like pins and brooches. We'll have someone selling plants and home decor. So it's going to be a fun time. And we hope y'all come out. There's this is one of 2 fall Arts in the Alley. The next one is on October 14th, but the September date is tomorrow. And then another thing that I wanted to remind folks about is the Mrs. Roper Romp that is going on. This is another DWC event. I have the flyer here. Come and knock on our door. The first annual Woonsocket Mrs. Roper Romp, Saturday, September 30th. And so what this is everyone dresses up like Mrs. Roper.
From Three's Company.
From Three's Company, yeah. For those of you that are not old enough to remember, Three's Company, the landlady was Mrs. Roper, and she was known for her muumuus, a colorful attire, curly hair, lots of curly red, wig, and big jewelry. And Mrs. Roper costume is required. We're going to have Three's Company trivia.
I refuse.
Prizes for best costume. We're going to start at Lops at 3:30. Then we're going to move to Ciro's at 4:30, and
Unless
we're going
Rich
to
Elaine
end.
also dons one of those muumuus.
Oh, please
along
do. Muumuus are really comfortable, by the way. I got one, and I kind of always want to wear them now, but that's another story. 5:30, we
It's
end
a
at River
1970s
Falls.
version of a colorful burlap sack.
They call it a caftan now. They're kind of hip, actually.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. And then at 6:30, it's a choose your own adventure. So we will have some folks coming in from outside the city, and we want them to stay in the city. And so we just give them a little guide here where they follow us for a while, and then afterwards we give them a list of places that they can go and eat or drink or shop, and hope that they patronize our Woonsocket
Is
businesses.
this a DWC
It is a DWC event. So the focus
Downtown
is,
Woonsocket
Yep,
Collaborative?
is the focus is always on our small businesses when we do these events,
It
but we
is.
also want to make them fun. So that's what we're doing. So get your
So
moo
Adam
in your
Bernetti.
wig, and Adam has his costume ready. He'll be Mrs. Roper. I'll be Mrs. Roper. We'll all be Mrs. Roper.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'll throw this out to Dave and to Rich. Little Three's Company trivia. Ready? What was the name of the bar that they used to go to that was down below the apartments
easy,
where they left?
easy.
Yeah, I started off with an easy one. And they're stumped. Rich is stumped. Dave is
Well,
stumped.
I never cared much for the show.
Oh, well, okay.
Because
Rich.
it was just a confusion plot.
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay. It's the Regal Beagle.
The Regal Beagle.
You know, I wanted to say it has something to do with an animal.
You're
That's
right.
what
There
I
you
wanted
go.
to say,
There you
but
go.
I just
Oh, I should have worn my Regal Beagle T-shirt.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. All right. One more question. What did Janet do for a living?
Nobody knew. Criticize Chrissy and
No,
Jack.
but you don't get paid for that.
Yeah.
I don't know, waitress.
No, she worked at a flower shop.
Flower shop.
Yeah, she was either the manager. I think she was the manager of a flower shop.
You mean people
Joe
actually
knows
watch
all
that
the
show?
Three's Company trivia.
Chrissy, I cannot remember. It was just in some office. But,
But she was always like, she was a secretary.
And Jack was going to school to be a chef.
That's right.
I was a big Three's Company fan.
I see. I can see that. And I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
But what did
I
Larry
did.
do, Joe? What did Larry
Larry
do?
was a car salesman.
Oh,
Wow.
all right. You need to come and you're going to win all the
I'll
trivia
gonna
prizes.
win.
You will. You will. Oh,
All
my
right,
gosh.
Rich, what's going on at the post?
The rooster is in. Let's check in.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're not wearing moo-moos down the post, I'll tell you that much.
Well,
And if we are, I'm finding another post. Yeah, I mean, we got a couple of things going on this weekend. The rain may or may not play a part in all of it, but first thing that's going on is we're supposed to do a commander. Well, it's not going to go on. We're supposed to do what's called a commander's walk from the American Legion Post, and we're going to go down River Street with the state commander of the American Legion, Betty Leach. And I was going to don my color guard uniform and walk with the post colors and everything tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, but that's not happening because of the weather. So we're going to put that off until October the 21st. So I'll remind everybody. But it's a good thing to do. We just want to make I guess the community aware that hey, American Legion Post 85, this is where we are, and we're active and we're around. So I'll when that happens again, I'll make another announcement on it. Tomorrow night, I believe it's the last wrestling show of the season. New World Wrestling Extreme will be at Post 85 tomorrow evening. I was there yesterday, and I noticed all the tables and chairs are cleared out of the pavilion, so I would imagine that's where the ring is going to go, because it's supposed to be a little damp tomorrow night. But
Except for the one chair that they use on each other.
there you go. There you go. There you go. But so come on down and watch some wrestling tomorrow night down at American Legion Post 85. And on Sunday, now I didn't. I heard that Sunday might be iffy with rain. It might.
it's only a 50-50 chance.
50-50. So, but we got Bombshell Betty's at the car show that is going to come down there. Look at Dave. The classic cars.
I love Bombshell Betty's. I could watch them all day long. They're very talented.
Oh,
We've had them at Autumn Fest.
yeah, yeah. They
But I just don't know how you're going to sell a 50-50 chance of rain to the people who own those cars.
Oh, that's what I mean. And nothing's been canceled yet. That I can
Well,
say.
right,
So,
yeah.
But
Because things have changed all weekend long.
Yeah.
And what has happened is it's gone from 2 inches of rain to less than an inch of rain on Saturday. And the wind has died down. That's another change because we thought it was going to be windier. And they've added Monday to the rain.
oh God.
So it's going to be spread out over 3 days instead of one.
Well, so get in your car on Sunday and drive by. And if we're there, but yeah, right now it's scheduled Bombshell Betty's on
Yeah,
Sunday.
we'll check the forecast
Yeah,
on Sunday.
Yeah, from 11 to 4. And, of course, that pre-1980 classic vehicles with some live music by Supermax. And the thing I liked about it, they've been coming every year in the period outfits that the ladies wear. I mean, it's so cool. You know, I
World
just
War II outfits.
yeah, it's really, really nice. I'm sure there'll be raffles and all sorts of good stuff like that happening. So, like I said, right now it's still scheduled, but keep your eye on the skies, and I imagine it's going to play a big role in everything. On September the 30th, which is 1 week from tomorrow, we got this huge raffle going on down there now, and I think there's like 28 to 30 items that's on the raffle, and what it is, it's one of these things that if you buy one ticket, and let's say we're going to draw all 28 items on the same night. So let's say your name is drawn first, well, your ticket automatically goes back in to win again. So it's that type of raffle. The tickets are only $5 each, and it's going to be drawn on September the 30th. And the band that's going to be there, our last band of the season, is Tucker's Creek. And they are really, really good. They're a Southern rock band. They put out some great tunes. So that'll be on Saturday, September 30th. Normal time we start our bands is 7 in the evening till 11 at night. So September 30th, mark that date on your calendars. And another thing, a little bit in advance, but we are going to, once again this year, during the Halloween time, do our trunk or treat. And that's October 28th. That's a Saturday from 4:30 to 7:30. And it's open to the public. It's open to the community. And it's a very safe environment. I know people are concerned about that during the Halloween time, but we've done this a couple of years in a row, and the kids have an absolute blast.
Nobody's died yet, huh?
No,
Okay.
no. And we've had people come up there, and they decorate the back of their vehicles, and they hand out candy and things, and we just have an absolute blast. The Ladies Auxiliary puts it on, so like I say, mark your calendar for October 28th to bring the kiddies down to the American Legion down on River Street and do a little trunk or treating. And one more thing I really wanted to make mention of, the auxiliary. Auxiliary is so active. They're unbelievable. They're doing a donation drive right now, and I absolutely love this idea. I mean, a lot of the stuff we do down there is for the community and real good stuff, but this is specifically for veterans. It's called the Circle of Love for Rhode Island Veterans, and what this does is it assists Rhode Island homeless veterans when they're transitioning into housing. And we are doing a drive down there now. They're collecting the following items. You got to figure if they go from being homeless, to transition to housing, okay.
They need everything.
And I don't know who makes this list up, but it looks like a pretty good list, to be honest with you. I'll just run it through it real quick. They need things like extension cords, batteries, Fix-A-Dent. Who would ever think of that, right? Toothbrushes, cleaning supplies, laundry detergent, dryer sheets, trash bags, aluminum foil, saran wrap, toilet paper, paper towels, cured coffee pods, a bed in a bag, full size. What is a bed in a bag? I do not know.
So that is when you can get like a comforter and
Sleeping bag.
matching.
Type thing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like matching pillowcases and all of everything that you would use to make a bed, and it's
Squeeze
in
the
a bag.
air out of it and get it
Yeah.
in plastic, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
you can buy, it's like a whole set, like a
Okay,
comforter.
see,
Yeah.
see. And what'd you say? Every day's a school day earlier, right? So now I know a bed in the bag. But we are collecting these items. I shouldn't say needless to say, but all items must be new. So if you want to drop any of those items off down to American Legion Post 85, we are going to be delivering them to the Veterans Hospital in Providence at the end of October. So once again, like I said, Circle of Love for Rhode Island Veterans. So if you really want to make yourself feel good and support a good program, just go out and buy one of those items, drop it off at American Legion Post 85 while you're there, sit down and have a beverage. And, we'd really appreciate helping our veterans. And I guess that's about the rundown.
Okay, very good there, Rich. Thank you very much. Okay, one more Three's Company trivia.
Okay.
How much was the rent?
Well, I already know this. That's not fair.
All right.
Oh,
The
no.
three of them shared an apartment, and the Ropers were the landlords, and they were always there looking to collect the rent. How much was the rent that the three main actors were supposed to pay each month?
Not me.
Remember, it's the 1970s, so no. What do you want to guess?
200.
Close, 300.
There you
It
go.
was $100 each.
And they could never make the rent.
And they could never come up with it. That was always the jokes coming up. Do you have enough? Do you have enough? Two of them worked full time. Couldn't come up with $100. All right, Dave, it's time for a second message from the Valley Breeze newspaper. And you
certainly
grab
is.
the Valley Breezes in your hand.
I do. And the Cumberland Lincoln edition of the Valley Breeze, which I hold in my hot little hands right now, a couple of nice news stories you'll want to take a look at. Of course, they have their annual sneak peek to autumn fold up inside. I don't know if I can show you a little sneak. Yeah, there it is. Autumn in the Valley. Really pretty. Very nice. So you pick up that. It doesn't matter which edition you have. It's in all editions of the Valley Breeze. 150 years of faith and community as Cumberland recognizes the tradition of the historic St. Joseph Church at 1303 Menden Road in Cumberland. I know we have one here in Woonsocket also dedicated to St. Joseph's, but down there in Cumberland, that big wooden church has been there since 1872. There you go. Of course, over in Cumberland, the school board is approving the next step toward a new B.F. Norton school. Ethan Shorey has the story for you there. And Sophia Barr writes, from Lincoln, the town officials want your help in the Envision Lincoln project, where town planner Joshua Berry wants to know what you want Lincoln to look like in the years ahead. Turning to the North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket edition of the Valley Breeze, we have a bid to delay the police station ends in a tie. We reported on this earlier this week. Of course, Bella Pelletier has all the details on that town council vote on Monday, which ended up 2-2 in a tie, and it failed to postpone the vote on the new police station. So it's going to be in November of this year. And I know I've already dedicated ourselves to getting the word out so that you can make an informed decision there. Of course, we all know that the Brigido's food chain, the 3 stores they own in Pascoag, Scituate, and in Slatersville, has changed hands. And there's a nice interview with Bella Pelletier and the new owner, Mike Fernandez. Gives her the whole story, both personal and professional, on how excited they are to be there at Brigido's. And then finally, Bella Pelletier also has a story from Woonsocket that we're also hearing about, and that is how the building inspector has gone in to the Head Start child care at Newland Avenue, found the garage itself was falling in on itself, and there are some health hazards there that have to be taken care of. Those health hazards were brought to light when they took the big hill away for gravel, and they saw the big fence there, and when they were taking down the fence, they said, oh my goodness, I didn't know that garage was there. And so remedial things will have to be done. And it's all in the Valley Breeze, along with ever so many wonderful ads from great local businesses that you should be nominating for Best of the Blackstone Valley, by the way. And it's free where you shop every Thursday.
Thank you very much, Dave. More of the Coffee Amp program coming up. Stay tuned.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate. You have the power. Nominate your favorites today at bestofthe.blackstonevalley.com.
All right, it is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. We're discussing the merits of Three's Company.
Yeah,
and
yes.
it just
And I
wasn't-
agree
it
with you
wasn't-
100%, Joe. It wasn't
Hamlet,
Shakespeare.
You know? It's not
It wasn't Shakespeare, right.
All right, Dave's with us. Melissa Murray's here. Rich Lane is here, and this probably comes as a shock to absolutely no one. But a national survey of travelers has placed Boston's Logan Airport 16th out of 20
I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go there unless I was forced
under the
to.
so-called mega airports. It's up there with
You know what the
LaGuardia
funny
and
thing is?
O'Hare and LAX and those guys.
I don't know anyone who would go there if they weren't forced to.
The J.D. Power survey of North American airport satisfaction gives Logan below average scores. The results are based on various factors, including security, baggage claim, arrivals, departures, and terminal
And
facilities.
if you drop off a friend, they charge you like you were a limousine just trying to get off the property. They don't tell
pay
you
to
they're
get
going
to
to
the
charge
tunnel.
you when you enter the property.
Yeah, that's right. That's
and
good.
drop off your friend, but to get out back onto the road, toll bridge, you got to pay me $20.
But I
$20
kind of disagree. Getting into Logan is a pain. Getting out of Logan's a pain. But the actual airport itself, I don't mind Logan Airport.
Right, because nobody wants to be there, and it's a big airport that doesn't have so many people.
Oh, it's jumping. It's pretty crowded. But
I can
the
tell you
option.
this: as a very proud Rhode Islander, I hope it never improves.
all right. No, Green
Yeah.
Green Airport is great, and
It
it's,
is.
I love the
We're proud of
the
Green.
smallness of it, and it is and there's a lot of all your major airlines are there, and it's great. The only problem about flying out of Green, and I'm not talking about Spirit and Frontier and the lower airlines, the big ones. Some people don't like to fly, and if they have to fly, they'd rather fly nonstop. And this, but if you're
Yeah,
flying
that
out of
doesn't happen
Green,
out of
you are
Providence.
always transferring planes somewhere.
Yep.
You have a much better shot of a nonstop flight if you're going to fly out of Logan.
That's true.
And that's the big advantage Logan Airport has.
I've heard that said about the transatlantic flights too. They don't want they want nonstop. They don't want to stop anywhere.
Not
along the way, that
no,
is.
That's right. So, but I wouldn't put Logan at 16 because I was there for a while one time and I enjoyed the food. I thought the facilities there were just fine. So,
Hey, Joe, I got something I don't think you got on your paper.
what's that there? Rich?
I just saw that. I just saw this morning on Facebook. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's kind of scary news, too, to be honest with you. There's an asteroid that has a 0.037% chance of hitting the Earth, and scientists are very worried about it. Of course, it's only going to happen in the 22nd century,
Yeah.
right around 2130. But
Yeah, I heard that yesterday.
you know, so I just want to warn
So we have time
everybody.
for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, yeah. I think
I'm not really worried about it at this point.
Yeah.
And we'll just, if it gets to that point, we'll send Bruce Willis and the crew up there,
There you
drop
go.
the nuclear bomb
There
to
you-
blow it up.
there you
It
go,
worked so
there.
well in Armageddon.
Yeah.
I got a
Clint
funny.
Eastwood and Jim Gardner.
I got a
That's
fun-
right. Those guys can go.
I got a funny feeling I'll be pushing a couple of daisies during by that time period.
All right. Geneticists have isolated and decoded RNA molecules from an animal that went extinct nearly a century ago.
Okay.
Their mothers must be so proud.
Researchers in Sweden isolated genetic material from a Tasmanian tiger and shared their findings in a study published last Tuesday. The predator, about the size of a coyote, disappeared around 2,000 years ago everywhere except the Australian island state of Tasmania, where European settlers hunted it to extinction in the early 20th century. Okay. Researchers said isolating the RNA molecules provides a better understanding of the Tasmanian tiger's genetic makeup. Could help recently launch efforts to bring the species back in some form.
Yep.
That's where it's coming
That's
from.
where I knew that was going.
Yeah, we need to bring it back.
We're gonna bring
That's
it back.
crazy.
We don't.
Because it's predators.
There aren't any right now.
Well, there was the human beings from
Right.
England that were put out to the penal
okay,
colony.
but the natural predators?
Well, they became natural predators, but the fact is they're going to put governing laws in there so that their
protect them.
predators will not be able to predatate.
What?
So all right. So they
So there will
they
be no
clone this
predators
animal
for
and they bring it back. I can't
now what do you
imagine
do?
any scenario where that might go wrong, right? Oh my gosh. No, don't.
Oh, we'll domesticate it. Don't worry. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Has anybody
great.
seen any geese recently?
Yes, on Clinton
Well,
Street.
that's it. That's
There
exactly
was,
it.
there was like 50 of them.
That's right.
not
That's
50.
exactly it. Now,
They're everywhere.
you know,
No natural predators?
well, they do have natural predators, but they're outlawed. the natural predators are outlawed so that the geese don't have any natural predators, and then they'll proliferate. Oh, the
populate
worst is yet to come with them. And you know that the coyotes and the predatory cats,
Yeah.
the larger cats and stuff like that are all infiltrating the woods around here because they just don't have any natural predators because they are being outlawed. And so now watch what happens next. It would break my heart. I have a hard time. I can't even allow myself to imagine this. But, there's going to be a kid get mauled by one of these wild animals that the do-gooders have been saying, oh, you can't touch them, you can't disturb them. Don't even yell at them. No, you call DEM.
Like a coyote, you mean?
No, you're supposed to yell at a
There's going to be
coyote.
some kid playing in the backyard on the swings, and some animal's going to come in and hurt them.
Yeah.
I mean, this is terrible. It's not a prediction. I hope it never happens. I hope I'm terribly wrong. But it's so plausible given the one-sided myopic view that the protectorates in government have on this matter.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there, because the coyotes are in urban areas now, and people say, oh, first of all, don't feed them. Please don't feed them. But also, what you're really supposed to do if you see a coyote is make a lot of noise and throw something near it, not at it, and scare it away and keep them afraid of humans. And if we fail to do that and they become more comfortable around humans, they're not going to be afraid anymore. So what you're supposed to do if you see an animal like that is scare it away.
All right.
What a moronic thing to tell people to do. Because then they will get used to that behavior from humans and not be intimidated by it.
But if they see humans and humans are always throwing things at us, they'll stay away from us.
Yeah.
Baloney, they will.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, they go back. They go back and they talk to each other.
That's
Yeah,
right.
listen. Yeah, you see that guy over there?
Yeah, stay away from him.
Boo.
They're sitting at Post 85 enjoying a beer and saying, hey, somebody threw something at me. Yeah, that's right. They never hit you.
If they come
They're
up
not
to
that smart, Dave.
they come up to Post 85,
Don't get them used to humans.
it's a magazine in 20 rounds, lock and load.
All right. All right. Speaking of bringing the Tasmanian tiger back, University of Minnesota, they're introducing a new kind of apple, and not computer, a new kind of apple to the world. It has a crisp, juicy texture, sort of like a Honey Crisp, but with tropical overtones.
And who invented the Honey Crisp?
I don't know.
The same folks at U of M.
Okay, the apple breeding program at U of M has been around for more than a century. This is the 29th variety of apple, MN33, and it will be available to consumers under the brand name Kudos in the next few years. The program's most famous apple, the Honey Crisp, developed in 1960.
Which gives you an idea. Only 4 varieties of apples didn't succeed.
How do you know that?
Because this one is called MN33,
All right.
and they've invented 29.
Those 30 didn't make it, huh?
Every day's a school day.
I didn't even know they were out there at the University of Minnesota coming up with new
Genetically
apples.
engineering
There you go.
apples?
I thought the
Yeah.
ones that you saw in the supermarket
No, there's so many different
apples.
apples.
Yeah.
No, there's so many different apples now. Yeah.
Oh, gosh, of course they are, yeah.
I just like my Macintosh.
Yeah.
Is that genetically?
No, I
enhanced or
think the
whatever?
Macs are original.
Ah, phew. I feel better now eating my green apples. Apples need to be green, by the way. Red apples are mush.
I used to.
fall
What was
apart.
what was it? Green apples. My mother, I remember, God rest her soul, she used to like salt. You ever hear that? Yeah, green apples. Yeah, she used to take a green apple
It's like
and
folks
she
who
used to put
on
salt on the
watermelon.
plate and like just dip the
it
green
in?
apple in salt.
Oh, no, I've
yeah,
never heard
I don't know. Just the memory came back. That's all.
Wow. I've never seen anyone put salt on an apple.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
There you go.
That
Well,
was
yeah.
big when I was growing up.
Was it, Dave?
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, some people put salt in beer. Some people put right.
And it goes up back to the sweet and sour
I
taste
guess.
buds
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it'll be tart. The salt will be tart, and the apple's sweet. And yeah. And there's certain varieties of apples that you put salt on that you wouldn't on others.
All right. Rich, this story must kind of drive you crazy as a former correctional officer. Manhunt underway for homicide suspects accidentally released from a detention center in Indianapolis. Sheriff's office asked for the public's help looking for him. On Tuesday, Kevin Mason was released mistakenly last week, quote, due to a faulty records review, unquote, by staff. It's still unclear whether the 28-year-old is still in the county out there in Indianapolis. Mason was arrested on 3 Minnesota warrants, including one accusing him of a 2021 Minnesota shooting. sheriff's clerk thought she was fixing a duplicate booking for him when he was released. Oops.
I can't remember what this inmate had done or anything. This happened years ago in Mass, where they had the records kind of mixed up a little bit, and they actually, I think it was, I want to say on one of the train lines between Norfolk and Boston, that they actually halfway through the train line that they got on board the train. They got the guy. They released him. I mean, see you later. Have a good time. The guy didn't say nothing, of course. I'm getting out.
All right.
Bye. You know, I got released like 10 years before he was supposed to.
Made it all the way out to the train.
Yeah. Got out to the train, got halfway to Boston, and by the time they realized what was wrong, they figured out, okay, the only way he could probably leave was by train.
Yeah.
And that's where they got him. So it happens. It
Mistakes
happens.
happen, and it's human error.
Yeah, there you go.
Kind of thing, so.
There you go.
All right, we've run out of time here on the program, but Dave's got his hand up, so he wants to mention something else.
And in lieu of Mike saying goodbye, I just want to remind everybody tonight from 5 to 9, it's the wonderful Beer and Dynamite fundraiser with a band and everything else at Italian Workingmen's Club on Diamond Hill Road. It's only $20. Get your ticket at the door. Walk in. There will be opportunities to engage in games of chance. I wouldn't be surprised. But Sue Tessie McKenzie's husband Ron has been accepted to go to North Carolina to the Apex Brain Center, and he needs the professional help. Insurance won't pay for it, so they got to go out and raise the money. And I hope everybody will join me in celebrating and being part of that tonight. And by the way, if you want to have your cockles of your heart warmed, pick up today's Woonsocket Call and see the front page story of Ron and Sue Tessie McKenzie on today's call.
All right,
Thank you
Dave.
very much.
Thanks. Melissa, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
We thank Mike Hero joining us a little earlier, and Rich Lane, thanks for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Try to stay dry. Anyway, do you remember Gary Smith and the crew coming up at 9:30 here on ON Radio?
Gary's already in makeup, you know.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
A national survey of travelers places Boston's Logan International Airport 16 out of 20. Yeah, way down there. Of the so-called mega airports in our country, the J.D. Powers survey of North American airport satisfaction gives Logan below average scores. The results are based on various factors, including security, baggage claim, arrivals, departures, terminal facilities, and they charge you just to go drop somebody off. Well, the entire New England region of the country is expected to receive a visit from another tropical system this weekend,